In this video, I'm going to go through hypothesis testing with two proportions. We will be looking at two independent samples. So let's go through the steps of the hypothesis test. These should look pretty familiar if you've done hypothesis tests before. First, we'll determine the null and alternative hypothesis. We'll be making a direct connection between the proportions. Second, we'll be selecting the level of significance alpha if it's not given to you, but most of the time it is. We're going to find the test statistic. There is a formula for the test statistic. It's a complicated formula, and it looks like this. Just to note, this is called a hat, P hat. That is for the samples. Okay, and then this is from the null hypothesis. We won't be using the formula. We will be using the calculator to do these calculations. We're going to find the p-value using the 2-prop z-test, and that's where we're going to get our test statistic in step 3. We'll compare our p-value to alpha, and then we'll make our conclusion. So let's look at an example. Suppose we're testing a medication for hives, and out of 200 adults taking medication A, 20 of them still had hives after 30 minutes. Another 12 out of 200 using medication B had hives after 30 minutes, and we want to test to see if there is a difference. So let's state our null hypothesis. Our null hypothesis will always have the proportions equal. And because in this case they're wondering if there's a difference, we'll use the do not equal, since we didn't indicate that one proportion might be bigger than the other. Okay, so alpha was given to us, the 1% level of significance, so I wrote that as a decimal. Now let's go ahead and calculate the test statistic using our calculator. So we're going to go to Stat, Tests, and we're going to use the 2-prop z-test, which is number 6. All right, so X1, they told us for medication A was that 20 out of 200 still had hives. And medication B, it was 12 out of 200. I will go ahead and leave this as does not equal. I'll just go down to calculate here. And I see right at the top, that's my test statistic. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. And then right below that is the p-value. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down and compare it to alpha. And I see that it is greater than alpha. Therefore, we're not going to accept the null hypothesis. We're going to not reject the null hypothesis. Okay? So do not reject. There's not enough evidence to say that there's a difference in the proportion of the adult patient's reactions after taking medicine A compared to medicine B.